Well, federal departments have started notifying public servants that their jobs may be impacted by workforce adjustments. Statistics Canada has confirmed that this will cut 850 positions over the next 2 years, including 100 positions eliminated immediately. Shared Services Canada says that it has begun notifying employees about potential cuts as well. Let's bring in Sean O'Reilly. He's the president of the Professional Institute of the Public Service of Canada, and definitely timely having you in this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. How are you?
I'm great. You know, we talked about Statistics Canada first, and then other departments started getting some of these notices. What do we know so far about those notices that they've been receiving?
You know, we've almost 2,000 members have been affected at both Shared Service Canada and Statistics Canada. We don't have the details yet on exactly who they're going to cut and how deeply they're going to cut. We have heard rumors of 850 and, probably 200, 300, 400 at Shared Service Canada. But we're continuing this week to get notices for folks that are going to get affected next week, and that they are coming in dribs and drabs. We'd like to have more of a coordinated effort, but we haven't seen anything from the Treasury Board yet.
And before we get to the services that might be impacted, I want to talk about, the mentality of the workers at this point, because there has been word from a lot of people upset about the lack of communication, about the transparency, about maybe hearing it through the media before they get any notice of it. What's your take on that with the delivery of the news?
It has not been ideal. I think that it's a very dark time for the public service, definitely a dark time for Canadians. We have not, it's been even in the messaging, Statistics Canada, I was hearing rumors that folks were trying to listen to town halls, the connections weren't good. It was very ineffective. And as a union, we've been demanding better coordination to understand, better support our members, because, we want to talk about the impacts of the cuts. We're going to fight for what protections are in these collective agreements, but we also want to stand shoulder to shoulder with our members and provide the support they need in this difficult time.
Yeah, and then thinking about what the public servants do, how will this impact the services that we see here in the city? Because there's no question it's going to have an effect.
Oh, absolutely. The ones we know about so far, Statistics Canada, Shared Services Canada. Statistics Canada used to be the pearl of the public service. They produce data that businesses, communities, even the public service itself uses to make important decisions, that affects Canadians. You look at Shared Service Canada, that's the backbone. If you're going to an IT system in the government, you're touching a shared service system. And also, cybersecurity, that's a big thing in Shared Services Canada. Those are the folks that are protecting us from those threats we don't even know about.
And do we know about any other future services that might be impacted? We started with Statistics Canada, we've learned about a few more. Are there any that you're aware of in the future, or is it still a little bit of a question mark?
We are aware. Like I said, we are getting notices. We have an agreement with the government. They will tell us 48 hours before they tell our members. However, it's not my job to be telling my member that they're going to be having their job affected. That's the job of the government. But we are being very proactive, and we are putting out to the media, to our members, exactly how they're going to be affected. And when we do get a notice, when they get affected, we do send them an email immediately what services we can provide to them and what supports they can get from us.
Definitely a lot more questions and answers to come over the coming weeks. But Sean, we appreciate you giving us some guidance this morning.
No problem. Thank you, Will.
Of course.